Today I'm going to talk about facial acting. Hi, I'm Martin Escasoto. Maybe if you didn't see my videos before, I've been in the industry for 16 years now, and I'm making these videos just to help you to keep improving in your journey. Let's start by the most important part of an acting shot, which is the performance. What we want to convey, what we want to see is a performance that is going to be believable, realistic, and it's going to be something that is going to feel naturalistic, which is the hardest part, I think, when we are animating. It's easy, as animators, it's easy to overdo stuff, and sometimes it's just important to keep things simple. So I think it's important to keep in mind that our performance needs to feel naturalistic. If we are working in productions, most of the time we can check all the lipstick cameras. The lipstick cameras are going to have all the information from the actors acting the shots, and it's going to give us an idea of at least how the mechanics of the face are going to work. But then finding the right performance for the shot is the part that is the most interesting and the one that is going to give us more fun at the time of animating. Today I'm going to be showing one of my animations that I did kind of a while ago. The concepts apply on that one. Maybe nowadays I will think differently about this shot, and I will make other kind of acting choices, but this is for the sake of a demonstration. It's an animation that I did when I did Anime Squad the first time. I got like really good guidance on that shot as well, and so I want to show the process that I did step by step on this one. So let's start by the first step, which is finding the reference. At this point, what I did is, because it was a girl acting and I really wanted to animate a female character, I came up with an idea, but then I took part of the reference of the acting from the actress that is acting the shot in the movie. In this case, I took this approach because I was in the process of learning as well. Nowadays, I wouldn't do that, but I took many of the acting bits from that video reference because I found it was really natural and really cute, and I thought it could work pretty well in the animation. The animation that we're going to see is the following one. I'm going to show you now. To be honest, before playing, I think I will do things very differently nowadays, but I think for the sake of the demonstration, all the acting and performance is still there, so we can talk about it.
I don't know, I think you're a really nice person, and I really love spending time with you.
So this is the shot that I work on, and I think we can start by thinking about the staging of the shot, which the first thing that I thought was I want a character who is going to be confessing their love to someone else. But I didn't want to have two characters in screen, I just wanted to have one. So the second character is out of screen. This first character is confessing their love. So I went in Maya and I just started staging. This is maybe my first blocking. Now, for the reference this time, of course, as the previous video, my workflow is not going to change too much from what I did in the video that I did for workflow. It's going to be more or less the same. I'm going to be working the same way, starting with golden poses. So my reference for this video, because I'm not a woman and I couldn't do a reference accurate for this, if not, I took the reference from this clip from this movie where Boy's boss is confessing her love to the other guy.
I think you're a really nice person, and I really like.
And I found that all the acting is very natural, so I really liked it. So I was thinking, why maybe I can use hints and things from this, so I can reuse kind of the emotions on the face on this character. So the first thing that I did, more or less what I did in the first shot, was setting up my scene. At this point, the environment is not here, but I was thinking, how can I pose this character doing something interesting? As you see, this is the first pass of blocking. So the first thing that I'm going to focus while doing acting is the same as normal blocking. So I'm going to focus in the golden poses, but in my golden poses as well, I'm going to start adding the emotions in the face. I'm adding how the character is going to feel. As you can see, the pose is a bit too flat at this moment compared to what we have at the end. So this is my first pass of blocking, and here I'm adding all the emotions that I think, all the searching with the eyes, and for the mouth, what I'm doing is just adding the expression. So for facial acting, we shouldn't focus at the beginning in anything related to lip sync. It needs to be, the lip sync is going to come from the emotion of the character. So the most important thing is to pose your character and the emotion the character is feeling, and then we are going to add the lip sync to those feelings. If not, the lip sync is going to feel disconnected from what the actual emotion is. So as you see in this first pass of blocking, I'm just adding all my emotions, all the internal process, how she's thinking, everything that she's feeling basically. So you can see all the eye directions are there, how the eyebrows are reacting, and like she feels shy and a bit kind of I'm trying to see that she feels shy, she doesn't know how to convey what she wants to say. So there is a lot of searching in the eyes, trying to find how to say what she's feeling at this moment. So this might be my first blocking. Once I was a bit more or less happy with this, I show it and I got the notes. So now you can see actually in the second blocking we have a bit more advanced, adding more poses on this one, but already the pose is already more appealing. Now in this one the character was feeling quite flat, and in this one I start feeling a tiny bit more leaning on this edge, so we can see the weight on that side. And now she's kind of, my idea for this was like she got the flower from this other person, and for that reason she's a tiny bit more confident to express her love. So starts looking at the flower and take a deep breath. I think if I need to animate this nowadays, I will take out that kind of shaking the head. I think it's a bit too over exaggerated, but it's what the decision I made at that moment. And here, what I start doing is, here there is a hesitation moment, like should I say this or not? So she goes internal, and I start playing with the flower a bit with the fingers, like nervous. And now it's like in this section what I'm trying to convey is she's kind of, okay, I'm gonna do this. It's like I'm taking back my confidence. And then she tries to keep eye contact, but she can't because she feels shy. So goes away with the eyes, come back, and keep saying, I think you're a really nice person. No? And then kind of go to the side, like kind of in love. It was the intention there. And I was trying to play a lot with the twist and tilt, just to add a tiny bit more appealing to the poses. And the intention of her being kind of shy and keeping her emotions inside. It's really hard for her to say what she's trying to say, so she's very nervous at this moment. So all the little eye darts and everything, what I'm trying to add is the feeling of nervousness on her. So as you can see, whatever is blocking a stage, in blocking what I'm focusing is, as you see, there is not a lot of lips in there. It's just kind of the main expressions in the mouth and the eyes, and just the opening and closing of the mouth, especially in some phonemes or specific emotions that I want to convey really well. But what is there is going to be all the eye intention, which is for me the most important part of the shot. Even here you can feel like I add a breath as well already. So I'm trying to put everything that is going to give this feeling of the acting. Cool. Once this stage is done, what I'm going to do is go to spline and keep adding more and more information to this. So you're going to see here, I'm starting to add a bit of lip sync to this. everything feels a bit floaty at this moment. Because I think the time I was doing this, I wasn't doing the same workflow that I do right now. So when I jumped to spline, and maybe I was missing some information, and still the character felt a bit floaty. But I'm start adding more details, like how the hands are reacting to the edge of this I don't know what it's that. I think it's a bridge, and I'm starting to add a bit of lip sync, everything that is happening in the head, all the acting in the eyes, and trying to start making everything a tiny bit more organic. Here, for example, there are some errors, like the eyes are going up and we see the white of eyes at this point. But I'm already starting to add more and more information. In the spline pass as well, as I did before, I'm going to try to find the right weight, trying to see that all my thinking process are landing really well, and the lip sync start reading a tiny bit better. Once I'm happy with my spline pass, especially for the body, what I'm going to start doing is, once I have all this information that I think, okay, the body weight is right, and I feel like all my intentions are there, now I'm going to start actually going in and start polishing by parts. So as you can see now, this is my first file of polishing just the eyes. So what I'm going to do is concentrate myself in the eye mask. Before jumping into this, I think something that it helped me a lot, especially in the latest years. I recommend this book, if I can, to anyone who is looking at this. It's Anatomy of Facial Expressions, this book. So this book helps a lot to understand how all the muscles in the face work, and how actually everything is connected. So it's not like we have two different parts in the face. It's like, it's not just the brows and the eyes and then the cheeks and the mouth. Everything has a role to play. Everything is connected, and it's really good to understand how our eyelids, they compress when we close the eyes, the way our eyebrows work, and how the muscles of the eyebrows work, how the muscles of the mouth work, and which muscles and which parts of the mouth and the lips are moving when we do a lip sync. So it's really good to understand all that. It doesn't mean that you need to learn the names of the muscles that you have there. It's just a matter of understanding how the face moves, and that way it's going to make your animation a tiny bit more organic, because you're going to understand how things are connecting, how when we move the lips, how it affects the nostrils, or how actually, for example, the eyebrows, we learn that actually we have just one big muscle here, which is the frontalis, and it just moves up and down. So it's impossible for that to rotate or to move to the sides. So this, for a reason, is quite simple, the movement of the eyebrow, because it has a huge muscle that move it up and down. And then we have the one who goes in, and the name is corrugator with this one. So that is going to pull more in and out, but just the middle part of the eyebrow. So it's good to understand all that. Having that knowledge is easier to start moving things around in the face without breaking it and making it feel strange or odd, because it's not anatomically correct. So that being said, we can jump on this, and it's basically just a pass on eyes. So what I'm trying to do here is start adding details in my eyebrows and my eyes, trying to break a bit of asymmetry, so both of them, they don't feel exactly the same. And as you can see, I start adding these locators as well here, which I'm going to start tracking. So ideally with this, what I'm trying to do is to start polishing as well how the head is moving. So I'm going to start polishing on the movement of the head. And I'm putting, this locator that I'm showing now is locator of the nose. but I put it far away because I can see the trajectory a tiny bit better than if it's sticking to the nose. If it's a tiny bit more far apart from the head, it helps you to see with a bit more clarity how the head is moving. And it's the same for the flower here. So as you can see, well, I'm just here, for example, this is not anatomically correct what is going on with the eyebrows at this moment. As I told you, this is an old animation, so I'm not super happy with some results here. But well, basically what I did in this case was just start adding detail in all the face area. This at this moment feels a tiny bit broken, the eyebrows, but maybe as well it's a thing of resolution. Here feels a tiny bit better. But here, change of direction in the eyes, trying to play with the pressure as well, how the eyelids are moving to the side as well when the eyes are moving to the right, so the eyelids follows as well to be a tiny bit more fleshy. And once I did a pass in all the eyes, in all the shot, I'm gonna go just and start adding this one, which is my mouth, my polish for the mouth. Okay. So here I'm gonna start adding all my lips in, and start like tracking as well the corners. So with the corners as well, probably I'm gonna go, once I have the lips in all working, I'm gonna start tracking the corner. Oh, this is gonna take a bit of time. So here I'm gonna start tracking as well what's going on with the corner of my lips and trying to clean it up. This was one of my first pass of polish, so probably I could as well improve a tiny bit on that. Anyway, so yes, in here I'm going to start adding the lips in, and all the things are going to be related to the mouth. So basically it's going to be how the nostrils reacts to the mouth corners, and then as well the pressure in the lips, the puckers and all that. Now, for what is lip sync, what I recommend, something that I learned, I think the hard way, was to don't animate phonemes itself, animate sounds. And that means that we need to listen what the character is saying, because the phonemes are going to help us to hit the proper, the shape of the phonemes is going to help us to hit the right sounds as well, but not all the time we can hit all the phonemes, because maybe the character is speaking too fast. So it's better just to animate what we hear, and it's going to be a lot more accurate than just trying to match every phoneme going on. So just animate lip sync by sound. And also, another tip that helped me was, when we get to the O shapes, most of the time our mouth tends to create the shape of the O before, or U, before saying the actual sound. So first you create the shape, and then you say O. So the same for animation. We can just create the shape 4 frames earlier or 3 frames earlier before the sound is coming, because naturally we first create the O shape and then we say the sound. So in this pass, what I'm going to do is start adding detail on all the part of the mouth and the cheeks, how they connect, and I start adding as well, if I can, information as well in the lower lids and how they connect everything with the mouth when the mouth is moving, just to make it a tiny bit more fleshy. That will be the second pass after all the polish of the the eyes is done, because I found that our eyes, the eyes of a character is the door of the soul. So if our eye animation is accurate, it's gonna give a lot more a naturalistic feeling and realistic to the character that we are animating. And then the lip sync is gonna be just adding on top of what we already did with the emotions of the character. And then once all that is done, I will go to the last part. And now here, yes, in the last polish, what I will do is track everything, make everything feel organic, and any kind of delays or asymmetries that I want to add, and try to make everything feels connected and organic. Breathe, shoulders, to get the most polished animation that I can. I always want to see my graph editor. I'm kind of a freak of a graph editor. Sometimes I want to have clean graph editors in general, and not losing my ease in or out, or fast in or fast out, like here. Well, at this moment I used to use weight and tangents. I don't do this anymore. This drives me crazy nowadays. But yes, try to keep everything as clean as possible. And then, as I can see here, I have some animation layers as well, which and it's gonna add some information. You see nose and mouth, head animations, eyes and layers. So I add some layers to add some more detail. And then after all that, most of the time my animation layers are gonna be to add some details on top of what I already have, because I don't want to break the animation that I have. So I add details sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes in animation layers. And then, well, with this will be the final anime.
I don't know. I just think you're a really nice person, and I really love spending time with you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this. This is all for today, and I will see you on the next one.